These two little bite-sized morsels really sum up the current standard of Australian media for me. Let's start with an interview with the Prime Minister on Channel 9's Today.
Prime Minister, good morning.
Alison Langdon starts with two questions regarding the release of the Bali bomb maker before she launches into this.
Okay, talking a few other issues here too, Prime Minister. Scott Morrison and the secret ministries. Will you call a Royal Commission into how all levels of government handled the pandemic?
The Prime Minister answers the question put to him. Then there was this.
Okay, look, you've been very vocal about Scott Morrison all week, and fair enough, but John Howard says that you need to be less of an opposition leader.
Again, he answers the question put to him. Now, I really hope this next bit was the result of the control room in her ear, because if it was pre-written... Let's roll the tape.
Sorry,
Could it be pointed out?
Is the bloke that you beat really the top priority right now when we are facing an inflation and energy crisis? You've got families sleeping in tents and cars because they can't find somewhere to live?
You just asked me the question, Ali, about Scott Morrison, and I gave you the answer. If you ask me a question about inflation or about the economy, I'll give you an answer about that as well. This isn't an issue that I chose to raise. This is an issue that was created by Scott Morrison's actions and by those in the Morrison government who sat back and watched this undermining of democracy. And it began, of course, with actions like appointing Scott Morrison as a single member, the only member of a cabinet committee in order to avoid scrutiny.
Two thumbs up for the PM's response, though.
Meanwhile,
Over on Sky News, Australians are getting hit with whatever this is.
The deep state. The deep state. Drain the swamp. Freedom. The shadow government. Deep state. Shadow government. Shadow government. The deep state. The deep state. The shadow government. The deep state. Deep state. The Russian hoax showed the deep state in action. A conscious partnership between the Democrats, the shadow government and the media to damage Donald Trump's campaign. His resolve to return to the White House and drain the swamp is stronger than ever, and the deep state are rattled.
I mean, +1 for the dramatic music, but -1 for the reality-free reporting. I know what you're thinking. No one in their right mind would be paying for Sky News. That may well be true, but the problem is it's pushed out for free to a big slab of regional Australia.
It smells like mouldy ass is what it smells like.
Meanwhile, back in the real world...
If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
August 10th, 2022, a former United States president pleaded the Fifth. Donald Trump spending 6 hours dodging questions at a deposition. And let me tell it to you in plain English. It's a right he can exercise. But he made the decision, Donald Trump did, that he faces a higher risk by testifying truthfully in the New York probe, which he chose not to do, than by pleading the Fifth, which he chose to do.
According to a source with knowledge of the case, Mr. Trump invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 440 times during a deposition that lasted 4 hours.
It's all fine and dandy, but you don't seem to get too much of that sort of thing on Sky News.
Donald Trump pleading the Fifth, it seems as though he's got a point here. He's got a right to do that.
Absolutely, he has a right to do that. We still have constitutional rights in this country, and frankly, I think he'd be a moron to not plead the Fifth. This is not a fair investigation. It's a witch hunt.
What's happening? Is this real life?
What this is exactly, I don't really know, but it's not news.